Your cell phone is making you poor. It's making you lazy, it's making you fat, it's making you stupid, it's making you into its Guys, I'm being over dramatic, but I couldn't be actually more serious. This cell phone has been both like a gateway to all of you guys, and it's been incredible. But I want to talk about all the negative side effects of what chronic social media addiction and cell phone usage can do to your level of success. And when I say success, I mean financially, I mean physically, like biologically, like how your brain feels, intellectually, socially. Don't call me crazy. Wait till you hear what I have to say. Also, if you hear a young girl in the background, that is my girlfriend baking right now. She's live streaming. My screen time is actually horrendous. This is a real screenshot of what that looks like. On average, I could be spending anywhere from 6 to 7 to 8 hours on my phone a day. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how that's humanly possible. I'm only up for 12 hours. For those who don't know what I'm talking about with the screen time, is Apple iPhone actually allows you go into the settings, you click screen time, and you can see how much time you're spending on your cell phone. And you can even scroll down and you can see a breakdown of all the different apps. I'll even show you guys, this is one of my housemates here, Yates TV. He's also an influencer himself, but oh my God, we're almost getting close to double-digit hours on the screen. And I feel like Yates is like a perfect representation of the Zoomers. I'm a millennial myself, but I bet you even if I talk to my parents who just came on to Twitter, they came on to social media just a few years ago, they all have iPhones now, I bet you their hours, everyone who starts to get involved into the smartphone era, I feel like slowly but surely starts getting more and more addicted and glued to their phones. My goal, honestly, would be to get to under 2 hours a day on my cell phone. I said, I wish I could go completely without it. Unfortunately, because of what I do, that's never gonna be the case. But I just really have to be diligent and on top of my own to not let it get out of control. If I can do it with my investments and not get out of control with that, if I can do it with my diet, I can do it with my sleep, then I can definitely do it with my cell phone usage. It's just hard to break the allure of FOMO and wanting to know what everyone's up to, and especially too as an influencer, like everybody wants to know, like, what are they saying about me? What are they saying about the videos? Do they like them? Do they hate them? What do they think about my mommy's haircut that she gave me? Am I cute? You know, so it's like, for those of you guys that aren't influencers, you might have an easier time of stop looking at other people's maybe, I don't know. We all have our struggle. We all have our battles to fight here. I'm still doing things, but I'm checking my phone in the oh wait, what up? Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta check this. It's bad. I could have anywhere from 100 to 200 pickups. That's me checking it. Whether I'm checking like the crypto price, I'm checking Twitter, I'm checking TikTok. Oh, don't even get me started on TikTok's feed. I did a video back in, I think it was 2020, talking about how to stay motivated, how to get excited. And I think I did a whole piece about the negative side effects of the cell phone. For one, anything that takes up 6 hours, 7 hours, over half of your day is not good. Usually it's not good to be doing any one thing for that long of time in a day. Even healthy things like say like working out or something, you're not gonna lift weights for 6 hours a day. Your muscles will break and snap, your bones will fall off, you'll run yourself into the ground. But yet here we are using our brain for 8 hours a day. And I don't mean like obviously we're always using our brain, but I mean the amount of information and data that we're consuming on a regular basis, just through some scrolls, some flicks of the finger every single day. We are over-stressing and over-analyzing with our minds. I don't think I'm the only one with this serious social media addiction. Actually, I know I'm not the only one because I did a poll on Twitter not too long ago. And look at the results of this. Most of the population, if we take my audience as a sample size and extrapolate it out to the entire United States, most young people spend more time on their cell phone than in physical reality. Like, what? This machine controls you. So whoever you're following, whatever data gets into your feed and then into your brain, into your subconscious, whether or not you retain the information, your brain's getting exposed to it. And your working memory can't retain all this information, so you're just pumping and dumping to where all of a sudden you get brain fog, forgetfulness, you're stressed, you're anxious, you're depressed, and you don't even fully know why. Your brain chemicals, your dopamine is getting so flushed out, your receptors are getting so overused that you probably feel perpetually exhausted and burnt out, and you're not even sure why. It's this. If you look at any successful person in any field, it's because of concentrated energy and power, concentration, focus. Literally the exact opposite of what a cell phone does to you. It gives you ADD, your attention's all over the place, you can't focus. And if you can't hone in, and if you can't channel all your energy, your time, and hard work You will never break through. You will never have a breakout success in anything. How will you be the best or even good in any field if you're just doing little microdoses of nothingness? You have to be able to concentrate. When I'm doing this video, I'm concentrated on one singular topic, which is the cell phone. The best things in my career, whether I was shredded and got six-pack abs, or whether I got the billion-viewed Psycho series, or whether I did a really creative series like My Virtual Escape, or did a graphic novel, all of these things were as a result of concentrated energy. How are you ever going to be disciplined enough to be able to concentrate that energy if you're constantly letting it get taken over by all these influencers, myself included? I have a real love-hate for this because I feel like we are also the problem. We're just distracting everyone and taking their attention and stopping them from getting the things done that they want to get done. And everybody is sitting on these innate dreams inside of them that I feel like haven't gotten to be fully actualized. We're so busy looking at everyone else's life and all the things that they're doing. I've always had a mantra when I've been in this space: post and leave. I'll read some feedback, and honestly, I've gotten to a bad habit of reading a lot of different things, especially during the pandemic, because I haven't been able to see as many people or go out as much. Things are just a little bit darker. And so a lot of my social interaction comes from the phone. And it's fine if you can use intention, go in and get out, right? With your head still intact. But the problem is the phone has become such a catch-all for so many different utilities that you might go in with one intention, like, okay, let me post a TikTok right now, which actually I have to. And then I just let one TikTok play. And the algorithms are so good now that it just hooks you in. And then you completely lose yourself and forget what you were originally doing. And I find that happening in physical reality. I'll be going downstairs to go grab something and I'll completely forget what I was going. And I'm like, why am I going here for? Or you're driving somewhere and you're just so used habitually, your brain gets trained. And these apps are training us just to be constant users and abusers of their entertainment platforms. Like I said, even my train of thought right now, I went from going to TikTok to post it, and that was my point, and then all of a sudden I've diverted into other stuff. And there's so much nuance to the effects of this on our brain that we don't even fully realize. One major problem that I have as an artist or as a creator is you need downtime to be able to be bored so you can all of a sudden entertain yourself with different random fantasies in your head. If you never get that downtime and you're just constantly reacting to other people's stuff, you will never be proactive or getting things done on your own volition, on your own autonomy. You're just like, oh, look at what they're doing, and look what they're doing, look what they're doing. And then afterwards, you get off your phone, you're like, wait, look at what I've done today. Nothing. And of course you're gonna feel terrible about yourself. You're not actualizing your full potential. So I have a call to action for those of you guys that have made it this far into the video. Drop some likes and make sure you're subscribed if I'm preaching truths. And if you feel like yourself, if you have an issue, and anyone who has, in my opinion, over 3 hours of screen time a day, that's a problem. Now it makes sense that, like, say I have a longer screen time because I do use this for my job, but there's a level to which it becomes excessive, and it's something that this video is not just for you guys, it is for me. It is probably the hardest addiction I've ever had to overcome. I had a pretty bad food addiction. I did like drinking for a while during my late teens, early 20s. These were hard habits to kick. Nothing is harder than the phone because unfortunately it's embedded itself into our lives and we do need it for different things. I need it for my career, I need it for my investments, I need it for my socializing. However, you have to just be disciplined enough to know, like, okay, Jess, we're using this as a procrastination tool. And that's usually what happens. So say I know, okay, I want to film a video. I'll stay on my phone for like 30 minutes just browsing the same 5 apps instead of filming the video. What I've noticed is because of the instant gratification of how these apps work, anything that is remotely challenging, that is remotely uncomfortable, that is remotely difficult, my brain goes way, way, way out of its way to avoid it completely. And so I'd rather go to somewhere where I do get some instant gratification, I can do all that, and I can put off having to do something even slightly uncomfortable. This has gotten so much worse over the years to where I would say 2015, 2016, 2017, the glory days of my McJuggernaut's channel, I would say maybe on this for 30 minutes a day. When I look at apps, say like Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok, like being a watcher and a viewer of these platforms, it doesn't really make me money, and it doesn't feel good. It's not productive. Whereas if I'm filming a YouTube video and uploading to YouTube, or if I'm watching a longer form video, I do feel like there's some inherent value from that. I do get some entertainment from TikTok, and I do learn some things from the people I follow on Twitter, or it's nice to catch up with friends on Instagram. But when you start to spend 30 minutes a day, an hour a day on these platforms, it's pretty gratuitous and it's just excessive at that point, and it's something that clearly you need to cut back on. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that I've tried to do cold turkey on it, but I do need it. You know, I've tried to rely on the web view of, say, TikTok or Twitter and post that, but then again, here I am. I'm on the web view version of it. I've even tried to incentivize different things by like, okay, I'll go get a nice meal out to dinner if I can get my screen time down to 2 hours a day. I've tried to wean back. I've tried many different things and nothing's working. And it's been frustrating just because the pull is so strong. But here's where I got to my breaking point. I just can't shut my brain off at night when trying to sleep. I'm not getting the things done that I want to get done. I really would love to work on these finance videos and grow this channel, do more self-help and videos that I think will benefit people. You know, open their eyes to different things like everyone's social media addiction. But I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking at everyone else's stuff. And I feel like I've become a viewer and not a creator as much over the last couple years. It's gotten to a point where I just don't like who I am. I've had enough. I looked in the mirror and I said, enough is enough. And I remember having this moment. And I encourage you guys to do this with yourself where I remember when I was like 60, 70 pounds overweight from where I'm at now. And there was a moment where I turned in the mirror and my tits still jiggled. And I was like, what the? Like I stopped moving and my boobs were still shaking. They're like, juggies. That was when I was like, whoa, who have I become? I need to seriously start losing weight and cutting back what I'm eating. I feel like we've known the obesity epidemic. As soon as we got fast food, everyone's just stuffing their face, and it's now a nationwide issue, especially for a lot of the younger population, the boomers and the youngers, everybody. Fast food's become a part of our culture. It tastes good, I can't lie, you know? But it just makes you feel terrible, and then you put on all that weight and you're wondering why you're depressed or you don't feel like doing anything and you kind of hate yourself, and then just it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then you keep going down the rabbit hole. But I feel like that same thing with the advent of fast food, I feel like that's happening now with information. What was so easy about that was my tits were jiggling. You see it, you see the problem firsthand. With this information epidemic, this data epidemic, we're getting info obese, overloaded with data. And the problem is the effects of this are not readily seen. Like I said, you don't see the jiggle. You might see the bags in your eyes, which I've seen started to form. You might just feel chronically burnt out or tired. And if the littlest thing, the littlest problem gets introduced to your life and kind of sets you off and you're like, dude, I swear to God, it's just one more thing, I'm gonna lose it. If that's how you feel when problems get presented to you, you clearly are struggling and suffering with this affliction, addiction. This is not a new problem either. I remember back in the day, I'd be writing a school report and it's like something that's like, I really don't want to do. So I'd have it on the screen, you know, it's like SpongeBob, it's like the. I'd be a paragraph in and I'd be like, all right, time to check Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, addictinggames.com, whatever existed back in the day. Do it for 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, let me do another paragraph. And that was the system. Now it's become like, all right, I'll edit for 5 minutes and then I'll check my phone for 10. I'll do this one thing for maybe like 10 whole minutes and then I'll check my phone for 2 hours. You shouldn't feel chronically tired. I bet you I'm speaking for everyone because I'm 30 years old now. I feel like I'm a little bit older when it comes to like the smartphones. Like we got smartphones a lot later, but a lot of you guys are growing up on them and are wondering why you're so depressed and why you're so anxious. Imagine scrolling, right? TikTok, data, Twitter, 1,000 different sources, 1,000 different lifetimes, 1,000 different narratives. And then all of a sudden you try to lay down in bed because that was the last thing you were doing. And you're trying to fall asleep. And your brain, an object in motion stays in motion. And here's your brain. And the whole point of sleep is you're supposed to be like, and your brain's, how are you going to sleep? And then what do you do when you wake up? What do you do when you're out? What do you do at work? When do you ever slow down and take a break? When do you ever look around, take it all in, stop and smell the roses? And if it's rare, then it's a problem. I think we're already setting down the path to be in the virtual reality. Because what's easier than having to move your fingers and stuff is if it is in here and then in the brain. And also when we have even more machine integration. We're just gonna let them fully consume us. But it's up to us, the individual, to exercise discipline, standards for ourselves. So that way we don't get sucked into this. Have limits for yourself. Just as much as you're dieting. Have an information diet, or else you will feel chronically exhausted and you're not going to be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Keep your cell phone away from the bed. Keep it in the other room. When you go to sleep, put it in the bathroom. Let it charge. Go to bed. If it gets you out of bed easier, cool, but then don't take the phone and go out of the bed. Everyone's going to have different strategies to fight this, but just make sure you're living your life with intention and you're proud of the person that you are. If you're not proud of the person you are, it's time to make some changes today. Now, some of you guys are like, yo, what I thought this was a finance channel. I thought we were getting into finance stuff. Guys, my portfolio, which I've never publicly revealed, maybe somewhere down the line we'll talk about it. We'll get into that. The times in which my sleep, diet, exercise, and cell phone usage are all in check, everything's aligned, are my most financially successful days. The time periods in which I'm pulling 8 hours a day on my cell phone, just scrolling through social media, or I miss 2 hours of sleep, or I eat that fast food meal and I don't feel well. Those are my worst performing financial days. I am not making this up. I literally went back over my multi-year history in the markets, and it didn't matter what was going on the macro. My trades and my movements, my judgment calls were compromised when I was addicted, when I was making bad decisions towards my health, and the times in which I was at my peak health, everything in my life changed and everything became awesome. And so if you're sitting here watching and you haven't had your moment yet, you haven't had your window, because there are aspects of your life that you haven't put into check yet. That's sleep, diet, exercise, or potentially one of the most important things these days, kill the addiction now, because it's going to get harder and harder the longer you go and the longer it gets cemented in your brain. So I'd ask all you guys, if you are over the 4 or 5 hour a day, let's kill it together. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at McJuggernuggets, on TikTok as well, guys. Drop some likes on this video if you're inspired to make some changes, because nobody wants to feel like crap, all right? And if you feel like real life's boring, and this has a lot more interesting things going on, then you need to start redesigning your life to make it more interesting. Or just understand that, like, not much is going to compete with all the entertainment that exists on this device. Now, normally, I don't want to fully demonize it. There is definitely value to be had, but more often than not, we don't go in with intention and we just become like a fart in the wind, or like, ooh, ooh, comparing to everybody else and just all the bad stuff. I'd hate to see all you guys not realize your dreams because you're busy watching everyone else fulfill theirs. Be strong, kick this thing. I'll see you in the next one. I love you guys to death. Don't forget to keep it rigid, and thank God this video is over because I need to check all my socials. I'm kidding, guys. I actually did just check. We're not perfect, okay, but we're trying, and that's what counts.